right. I'm checking to make sure it's live. Okay, yeah. So we're live. Today I wanted to talk about, today is December 2nd, and I'll give another market recap. We've neared back to the 11,000 or just over 11,000 wall. I saw some news on Bitcoin today that I wanted to talk about, and then we'll cover the coins of the day. So let's get started. All right, so okay, it's like, why is that covering half the screen? So since 24 hours ago, we touched over the 11,000 wall. When I was watching, it was $11,010, and then we dropped back down again. So you can see it in the 7-day chart for Bitcoin, where it hit here, and then it hit again last night. So since 24 hours ago, so a lot of the coins have fallen a really small amount since the drop. A lot of, well, I guess mainly only the top coins, the top market cap coins, because it seems the graph turns pretty green after those top coins. So currently, Bitcoin is at, let me reload this. Bitcoin is at $10,911 on Binance, $10,919, Poloniex, probably something similar on Bittrex. So here you can see this was around last night. It went up to here, I think was a high of 11,190, and then it has since pulled back to just under 11,000 again. So this seems to be the point of struggle. We'll see if we can break the previous high, but right now it's just kind of bouncing around along that 11,000 wall. And all right, so the news that I wanted to talk about was I saw a picture of a newspaper article that was titled "Bitcoin Going to Wall Street." So in the article, it talks about the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and talks about how they will begin futures trading on Bitcoin in December. So I think that's big news for Bitcoin. It'll start getting traded by more of the public and bigger investors as well. So that's throughout this year. That's going to definitely help out the price of Bitcoin, and I think that's definitely exciting to watch out for. And we will see where that takes it. Also, I need to mention that this is not financial advice. These are my personal opinions. And all right, so that covers the Bitcoin recap and the Bitcoin news. The market recap was just that the top top 10 coins were struggling, other than iota and Monero were up, and then pretty much the majority of the remaining coins are the majority of the remaining coins are in the green since yesterday. So now let's talk about the coins of the day. So I'm going to check in on some of the coins that I've been talking about and see where they're at since yesterday. So Ethereum is down 1.3%, as it also was one of those top 10 coins, or by market cap. Bitcoin's down 0.22%. All right. Litecoin is down 0.66%. I saw it went just over $100 and then dropped back around the time that Bitcoin hit 11,010. And then, so they've both seen a mild pullback today. Litecoin, Ethereum, and also Bitcoin. Ripple's had a mild pullback. Dash has had a mild pullback. And then, so some of the other coins that we talked about, those were the ones that were higher market caps. So some of the other coins that we've talked about are, we talked about EOS. EOS is now $4.08, $4.06, so bouncing around just over $4. It's up 22% in the past 24 hours. So EOS is killing it today. We can take a look at that chart. Yeah, wow, just rocketing up today. Well, this isn't just today. These are 2-hour tickers, so right in here is today. We could switch it out even a bit farther. As you can see, this one is just is blown out of the water. And on EOS, we really didn't see too much of a pullback with Bitcoin. Here's where Bitcoin had the pullback. So it did pull back, and then has since ignored Bitcoin's price and has decided to keep climbing. Was going up along with Bitcoin in the first place, made a jump on the 26th, pullback the same day as Bitcoin, secondary pullback same day as Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin's kind of in right here as far as the graph shape would have gone, and EOS has departed from the Bitcoin price. We just talked about Litecoin. Now Litecoin compared to 24 hours ago is up 0.21%. Oh, that's compared to Bitcoin. The previous was compared to the dollar. We covered Ripple. I don't know if we covered storge. I think storge is a good coin to watch out for. I have been considering getting some storge myself. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. It's been pretty volatile. So it was volatile before the crash of Bitcoin, or the dip. I guess it wasn't really too significant of a crash. And it's been kind of trending down, and then is ticking up in the last 6 hours. So this potentially could be a good buy-in point. We can zoom out even more to kind of see. Okay, so it was only listed on this exchange back on November 2nd. So I think this could be a good buy-in point. I'll be watching it pretty closely today to see if there's a point where I'd like to get in. And I suppose we could zoom in. So it was going pretty much flat. These are all just 5-minute tickers, so this doesn't zoom out too far. But it had a jump, and then you could see there's a lot of buy orders and a lot of sell orders. So I think it's going to kind of hold stable for like maybe a little bit, as in like an hour or a couple hours. But it'll be good to see if it dips down, and then would be at a good price to pick it up. I don't want to buy it right after it jumped up. It did just, I mean, it was only 6.7%, so it wouldn't make a huge difference, but if it starts going up, I'll probably get some, and then if I'm luckier, it'll fall down a bit and then curve back up, and I can pick it up on the curve. So let's see, let's switch it back to change so that I can keep track of where I was in the list. So that was storge. Iota, I talked about. Iota is up another 5.71%, up to $1.45. That, I think Iota is the 8th highest market cap coin. It's got a lower dollar value because it has a higher number of coins in circulation, but I don't even think IOTA was in the top 10 a month ago. I think it's been going up. Let's see if I put it on 6 hours. Yeah, so back on the 5th of November, so almost a month ago, it was at 46.20. So let's just call it 5,000, and it's gone from 5,000 to what is that, 13,000 in less than a month. So that definitely brought it up in the market cap rankings, and I like IOTA. I've been holding some of that, and I'm pretty happy about it. So we'll see if it continues to climb. I think this could be a good buy-in point, as it did just drop down after spiking up too fast, and it seems to be bottoming out right here. So if it starts curving back up, I might pick up a little bit more. All right, what's next? I don't remember if we mentioned Power Ledger, but Power Ledger is up 3.6% for the day, and is definitely a coin to watch. I think it had a good amount of volatility recently, yeah. So it went up like crazy. From 9, we'll call it 1,000. 1,000 to, well, at the peak 11,000, and now 6,500. So that one's definitely going up a lot. After it dropped like this, and now it's going like, so it did a dip, curved back up, and then dropped some more, but a much smaller amount, and it now seems to be curving back up. This could be a good entry point for Power Ledger. What else have we got? I know we had BNB, so, but I don't want to get out of order and lose where I am on this list. BNB is at $2.08. It's down 0.44%. You can see it had a massive spike between the 2nd and the 9th, has fallen down and is rounding out. So right around here would be anywhere between here and here, so 17,800 and right at the bottom of here, which is 19,000. That could be a good buy-in range. If we zoom out more, we might see something different. Nope. So that still seems to be the bottom area. So this goes now back to late September. So had a spike, it's gone down, had another spike, it's gone down, but if you notice, they bottomed out at the same point both times. So I think right around the range that we're in is definitely a good buy-in point for BNB or the Binance coin. I mentioned Ethereum Classic. I mentioned that I sold it, but after I sold it, it ended up falling down, and yesterday I think it picked back up some and has since fallen, started to fall again. So I wouldn't personally. That was a coin I mentioned was being pumped by Korean exchanges. So I wouldn't think of that as a good buy-in point, and I don't think it's a super long-term hold either. Bitcoin's is down today. I think I might have mentioned Bitcoin's as one of the coins I'm holding long-term. So I would say if it goes down to kind of this area where it's the bottom of that and right in here with the bottom of that and the bottom of that, that would be a good buy-in point. I don't know if I would buy in. I do know I wouldn't buy in unless it either falls down to these levels or goes flat and looks like it's starting to make a correction. So here it didn't go flat and it wasn't at those levels, so this was a kind of a knee-jerk correction, and then it just continued falling down. So I probably won't be. I have some right now, but if it does go back to these levels or starts to form a slower U instead of a V, I might pick up a little bit more of that, but I wouldn't at current levels. This is one of the coins that we saw spike. I didn't know anything about it other than it's called Enigma, and as you can see, it's down 9.45% today. So because I'm pretty sure it wasn't up on any particular news. So that one just spiked and is falling again. Bitcoin Diamond, that's still in futures, so people don't actually have the physical coin yet. I wouldn't buy Bitcoin Diamond if you have the futures on a Binance account. I would sell them, either sell or hold. And I did end up figuring out what point I sold it at, and it was 0.009, which is why it was around $90, or give or take around $90. It ended up spiking higher than where I sold it, but long term it fell down. So once it gets listed on other exchanges and actually is a coin that you can be holding, then I would consider keeping an eye on it, because when it does get listed on exchanges, well, if and when it gets listed on exchanges, it will be likely to spike up some. So in the meantime, I wouldn't buy it. I would either hold or sell it if you do have it. But when it gets listed on exchanges, if you can either wait for it to spike and sell it on those exchanges if you get credited somewhere other than Binance. And if you just want to participate in the volatility of it, that's up to you. But I think when it gets listed on other exchanges, it should be pretty volatile. I imagine, if I were to guess, it's going to spike up and then fall back down. And then long term, we'll just have to see. But in the short term, I'm talking a week or less, I think it will spike up on all of the exchanges it gets listed on, and then it will crash. And so that's my short-term prediction on Bitcoin Diamond. Long-term, we'll have to wait to see if it proves itself or not, since it's such a new coin that it's only being traded in futures at the moment. And I think that wraps up all of the coins I wanted to talk about today. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will keep you updated in the next video.